Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this early morning Sunday edition. We're just got a couple of headlines I want to get covered and get ready to go to church, guys. Um, I think the first main huge deal is that there's supposed to be a U.S. broker deal in Israel-Hamas conflict. Um, a, a possible, I guess, pause. Um, to exchange some hostages, and I've got that article. And then also I'm hearing that Finland is gonna and is gonna close its borders, and armies being deployed. So there could be maybe touchy touchy time with Russia right now. Um, and then we also have the CDC sounding the alarm about cow killing ticks spread across the 19 states in America. You guys know we covered the blue tongue disease the other day, and now we have cow killing ticks. And so, anyway, let's get right into these articles, guys. We're going to share this screen. And we're going to get into this very first article from Hal Turner. Details regarding a possible deal between Israel and Hamas facilitated by the U.S. emerged on Saturday. A tentative deal to pause the conflict for at least 5 days in exchange for the release of dozens of women and children held hostage in Gaza in a near agreement, according to the Washington Post. The outlet previously reported on the potential deal, citing an Arab diplomat, but the details remained foggy at the time. New information suggests that Israel may agree to the deal, and the first substantial pause in fighting could now begin in days. The 6-page agreement reportedly stipulates that around 50 hostages would begin to be released every 24 hours. It's believed that about 239 hostages remain in Hamas hands. Overhead surveillance would be employed to ensure the deal is adhered to, therefore allowing for a humanitarian aid to enter Gaza, notes the Post. Israel had previously agreed to a daily pause of around 4 to 5 hours to let aid enter for Palestinian people, but has staunchly refused to consider any significant pause until hostages are freed. In Saturday comments, White House advisor Brett McGurk said a hostage release would lead to a massive surge in humanitarian relief. The surge in humanitarian relief, the surge in fuel, the pause in fighting will come with hostages are released, he said. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and President Biden have echoed similar sentiments, but both have dismissed the possibility of a ceasefire, instead discussing the option of a tactical pauses. And then, and as always, guys, these articles are in the description in the box below. I did forget to say that at the very beginning. It's early, guys. This here from War News 247, Moscow front with Estonia and Finland. Border posts close and army deployed. Hundreds of foreigners besiege NATO borders. Gunpowder is smelling on the 1,340 kilometers of Russia-NATO border as Finland and Estonia close border posts, install anti-tank barriers, and move troops. At the same time, the closure of the border with Russia was also announced by Norway, as stated by the country's Minister of Justice. The situation is borderline, especially on the Finland-Russia border. We remind you that Finland's accession to NATO overturned the historic Moscow-Helsinki Agreement, with the result that NATO forces are located 50 kilometers from St. Petersburg. The only thing that no one knows yet is when and how Moscow will beat Helsinki. The Finnish Foreign Ministry reported that hundreds of foreigners are being transported by Russian Army and National Guard vehicles to the border with Finland, while many migrants are being redirected from Belarus. Russian media reported that Finnish authorities are preparing to plan and to completely close the border with Russia in case of need. Frontex has said it is ready to send forces to the Finnish-Russian border to ensure security. Finland's public border, Yili reports. And here it says breaking Finnish borders guards are forced to use tear gear as a large group of illegal immigrants from Syria and Iraq are trying to force its way into Finland from Russia at the Norali border crossing. Russia's using weaponized migration as a tool of hybrid warfare against Finland, I'm sure. Anyway, as you can see, there's a little video here, but we won't watch it, guys. Then dozens of migrants are at the two border posts between Finland and Russia. Finnish border guards said behind fences erected by Helsinki to stem migration flow that Finland believes are being instigated by Moscow. The Finnish government accuses Russia of pushing migrants towards the Finnish border in response to Helsinki decisions to boost defense cooperation with the United States. Finnish border guards raised fences at the Valmi, Noimai, Imatra, and Nairala passes in southeast Finland, where most of the traffic between the two countries is concentrated since midnight. Despite the closure of the border stations, dozens of migrants arrived yesterday afternoon at the Numoi and Valmi passes, where they remain with fires lit to cope with the frost. Finland and Russia shared the borderline 1,340 kilometers long, which is also an extremely border of the European Union. About 300 asylum seekers, most from Iraq, Yemen, Somalia, and Syria, arrived in Finland this week, according to the border guard. For now, 4 border posts remain open, but asylum applications can now only be lodged at the 2 northmost ones. The Kremlin said yesterday that Finland is making a big mistake by closing border posts and that Helsinki's decision is damaging bilateral relations. In 2021, Poland, Lithuania, and Latvia accused Belarus of creating an artificial migration crisis on their borders by airlifting people from the Middle East and Africa and pushing them across the border. Finland's finance minister, who comes from anti-immigration Finn's party, said yesterday that Helsinki is ready to close all border crossing with Russia if necessary. It doesn't look like everybody's ready to let all these migrants into their country, huh? Seems like the migrants get used a whole lot, don't they? Especially when you just take into consideration the things that are taking place here. Finland will erect fences at border crossing with Russia that it plans to close at midnight local time. The Finnish border guard said, "Our aim is to use fences to block entry." Finnish border guard chief Matti Pitaki told reporters, adding that the measure were a response to a change in Russia border policy. As of tomorrow, asylum seekers arriving from Russia will only be able to submit their application at the 2 northern border crossing, Salla and Vartos. Finland's President Sauli Niinisto said on Wednesday that the surge in asylum seeker arrivals appeared to be an act of revenge by Russia for Helsinki's defense cooperation with the United States, and an assessment also rejected by the Kremlin. Imagine that. Finland has closed 4 of its 9 border crossings with Russia, accusing Moscow of letting irregular migrants cross the border between the two countries, the Finnish government said today. The government has taken the decision to close the Valmi and Numai, Imatra, and Nairala border crossing on the border between Finland and Russia. Interior Minister Maria Ratanen said at a press conference the Finnish government had warned on Tuesday that it's considering closing its border with Russia, expressing suspicion that Moscow was trying to destabilize the country, which joined NATO in April. "We are prepared for various kinds of actions, for malicious actions on the part of Russia, so the situation is not surprising. We want the phenomenon to stop. We want the activity at the border to return to normal," the prime minister added. "If the situation extends to other border crossings and becomes more difficult, we will take necessary measures," he added. "We have prepared these concrete blocks in case of the Estonian government decides, following the example of our neighbors, to restrict entry into the country from the Russian Federation," said the head of Navra border checkpoint, Mirik Levy. Interesting, Finland previously closed a number of border crossings with Russia. In addition, the Finnish authorities are considering the possibility of completely closing the Russian-Finnish border. The issue of closing the border with the Russian Federation also being discussed in Norway. Latvia closed borders crossings in October 2023. If the borders are closed by Estonia and Norway, almost all land borders of the Russian Federation with the Schengen countries will be closed. An exception is the Kaliningrad region of the Russian Federation. And here's a couple of tweets. I think things are kind of getting a little interesting over there in the Baltic area. CDC sounds the alarm as cow-killing ticks spread across 19 states in America. An invasive species of tick is creeping across the eastern U.S., killing livestock in its wake as it travels west. These Asian longhorn ticks, found only in the U.S. for the first time since 2017, have now been discovered on pets, livestock, wildlife, and people across 19 U.S. states, according to the Center for Disease and Control and Prevention warning. The invasive ticks are now found to be responsible for the death of 3 cows in Ohio, having bitten them thousands of times to the point that the cows died of blood loss, a recent paper of the Journal of Medical Entomology revealed. As of April 13, 2023, longhorn ticks have been found in Arkansas, Connecticut, Delaware, Georgia, Indiana, Kentucky, Maryland, Massachusetts, Missouri, New Jersey, New York, North Carolina, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, South Carolina, Tennessee, Virginia, and West Virginia. An Asian longhorn tick was discovered in New Jersey in the fall of 2017 on a sheep from a farm in New Jersey, which put researchers on alert and has U.S. rechecking our collections as they follow very similar to our native rabbit ticks. I had actually collected one in New York earlier in 2017, which was misidentified. One was discovered in West Virginia collection back in 2010. Jolene Lampman, an integrated pest management extension support specialist at Cornell University, told Newsweek. By the end of 2018, they were known to be in 10 states, including North Carolina. They are known to be in 19 states. They are now known to be in 19 states. These ticks are native to East Asia, including China, Japan, Eastern Russia, and Korea. Scientists aren't yet sure how the tick entered the U.S., but estimate that it has likely arrived in or on before 2010, according to the USDA. Thousands of these ticks may be found living in grasslands or on animals, with researchers still trying to figure out how, if they prefer wooded or open areas. Though genetic testing, it is believed that these ticks were introduced to the United States at least 5 times on people, pets, or livestock, and likely from countries that were also invasive, Australia and New Zealand, Lampman said. So, guys, again, good morning, Daryl. Just, I don't know what we'll come up with next. You know, it does seem to be that there's an uptick on things taking place to the livestock. So all I can suggest is pray at this point. And I will leave you guys with that last article there. A lot taking place. I think good news in Israel. If a sort of a pauses or even peace is created there, even for a short time, no matter how long it is. And then I think things could be really getting very tense in the Baltic states there, with Finland and Estonia and all them places closing the borders. We'll definitely have to keep our eyes and ears open in that area. It looks like there could be another front taking place. Those are NATO countries, so I don't think, who knows? Maybe Russia's looking to continue their land grab, I guess, maybe. I don't know. I can't tell you. But I do know that it's not good. And then we have cowboy ticks. Daryl says cowboy ticks. I don't know what kind of ticks, but ticks are ticks, right? And not good. And if they can kill cows and make it look like they had blood loss, that's horrible. So I don't know what the answer is here, guys, outside of prayers. Anyway, I love y'all. That's what I have for you this morning. God bless you. I hope you all have a wonderful Sunday afternoon. And if there's anything else, we'll be back later. If not, we'll see you tomorrow. God bless you and have a wonderful day.